In this video for section 9.2, we're going to talk about how to test hypotheses about a proportion. The basic concepts are the same as for testing hypotheses about means. A major difference is that when we write the null and alternative hypothesis, we're going to use the letter P instead of mu, and we're also going to be using the one proportion menu in Minitab. So let's look at example 9.9. A basketball team is considering raising their ticket prices, but the marketing manager does not want to implement the price increase if more than 10% of the season ticket orders would be canceled. A random sample of 100 ticket holders found that 14 would cancel their ticket orders if the price change were implemented. Is it possible to conclude at the 0.05 level of significance that more than 10% of the season ticket orders would be canceled? So let's start by writing our null and alternative hypothesis. I'm going to start with the alternative because if I look at my question, it's asking, is it possible to conclude that more than 10% of the season ticket orders would be canceled? So my alternative hypothesis is going to be that P, the proportion of ticket orders that would be canceled, is greater than 10%, or 0.10. And so then my null hypothesis will be the opposite of that. P is less than or equal to 10%. So now let's identify our sample data. So we have a random sample of 100 ticket holders, and 14 would cancel their orders. So 14 out of 100. And our level of significance is 0.05. So let's go to Minitab. We're going to go to one sample and proportion. And we need to change from sample data in a column to summarized data. My number of events was the 14 people who said that they would cancel their season tickets out of 100. So 100 is my number of trials. Then I checked the perform hypothesis test box. My hypothesized proportion for my hypothesis is 10%, so 0.10. Then I need to click over to options. I need to change the alternative hypothesis box to that the proportion is greater than the hypothesized value, because that's how I wrote my alternative hypothesis. And then I need to change the method from exact to normal approximation. Then I click OK. And here's my results. So I got a z-value of 1.33 and a p-value of 0.09. So for the hypothesis test, what I'm looking at is the p-value, and I'm comparing that to my value for alpha. So if p equals 0.0912, and the alpha that I was looking at was 0.05. So this p-value is greater than alpha. So p is not less than alpha. And so that means that I cannot reject the null hypothesis. And so what that means about this situation is that I cannot say that more than 10% of season ticket orders would be canceled. So this is not evidence that more than 10% of orders would be canceled.